Hello everyone, this is Professor Stepp and welcome to Texas Government. So I usually make these intro videos to give you some basic information on how to access the course, some info on the syllabus, and how to do well in the class. So let's start out with how do you access the course? Well, type in EPCC onto Google, click on EPCC. Go to Menu, then click on My EPCC, and it will ask you to log in. You should have received a username and password. If you did not, or if you forgot your password, it'll have an option to reset. Okay, so before we get into Blackboard, I want to show you a few quick things. One, you have access to all of the Microsoft programs for free as part of being a student. So you have access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you name it. You can access those by clicking on My Apps, as well as you can access your OneDrive account. So you have free storage. Next, we have your email address. So you can access your school email. My class, we're not really going to use that too much, but you should be checking your school email because you'll get important information from your other courses as well as the college administration. Okay, finally we have Blackboard. So let's go ahead and click on Blackboard. Blackboard is a learning management system, otherwise called an LMS. So Blackboard is where our class is going to take place since we are an online course. So it always opens up on the activity stream. What you want to do is go down to courses. Now for you, by the time you see this video, it'll probably be, the courses will be open. But because I'm making this video during the winter break, I have to go to upcoming courses rather than current courses. Okay, so yours will look a little bit different. Obviously, you're not going to be taking government 6 times, right? So you'll have other courses here. What you want to do, of course, is go to Texas Government. Okay, so this is the front page of our course. Let's talk about some functions in Blackboard. So number 1, you do have a course calendar. Let's go ahead and click on that. Now you can click on due dates, which is what I would recommend, and you can see all of our due dates. So these due dates are always going to be basically on a Monday. The only exception is the tests. The tests will take place, will be due usually on Thursdays, but we'll talk about that as we approach the test. We only have 2 tests in the course, a midterm and a final, so it's not going to happen too often. But this is a great way to get a handle on what is due and when it's due. So basically every Monday at midnight you have homework due. The overall philosophy of my class is that I try and design my course so that if you put in the effort, if you put in the time, you will at least pass, if not get an A or a B. So it's not so much that it's very difficult, but it does have a lot of assignments, a lot of homework. And this homework is designed to really help you learn the material. It's not just busy work. Okay, so we've looked at the calendar. Let's look at the grade book real quick. So yours is going to look different than mine, but you can look at your grades at any time. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I guess that's a mess up. I'll look at that later. Okay, so let's look at course messages next. Course messages is the internal email system for our course. So to send a course message, you would click New Message. Probably you're going to want to send it to me, so James Stepp, type your message, and then click Send. Now this is going to be the way that I communicate with you, basically, okay? So if there's a change in a due date, or if there's information that you need to know, it'll be here. So check this every day, or at least every weekday. Okay, let's go back to the main home page. So we're going to get into the syllabus in a second, but I want to show you here. One, let me go to student preview mode so you can see exactly how it'll look to you. So the student preview mode is going to be a little bit cleaner than it looks for me. And here we go. Okay, so you can see there's some things missing here. That's because you don't need to see those other things yet. So assignments, that's where all your homework's going to be. So Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 are going to be available to start off with. If you click on Chapter 1, you'll find a PowerPoint, a couple of videos, Chapter 1's quiz, a link to the reading, and the first discussion. Let's look at the first discussion real quick. Okay, so the discussion, basically the rules are always going to be the same. You need to post twice. Each post needs to be a paragraph in length. That's 5 to 6 sentences. You need to make sure that you fully address the prompt in the first post, so that would be these 3 questions. Then your second post should be a response to a fellow student. Now we're going to be talking about some controversial issues in this class. It's important that we be polite and respectful to each other. Feel free to disagree. You don't have to agree with each other. In fact, it's better if you don't, because part of a class like this is learning from your fellow students. Everybody has their own perspective on the world. And when it comes to especially politics, there really isn't one right way. We're not trying to figure out how to balance a chemical equation or something like that. We're trying to work with values and facts to figure out what is our preference for how society should be run. And so we're all going to have different preferences. No need to get upset about that. It's actually kind of beautiful that we all have different ideas and opinions and so on. It makes life interesting. Okay, so just make sure you be polite to each other. Make sure you post twice, and make sure you always answer every question in the prompt. Okay? Okay, so now let's go to the Start Here folder. Oh, actually, one last thing before we do the Start Here folder. Since this class has been enrolled in First Day Access, you already will have access to the textbook. No need to buy a textbook. You already have bought the textbook. You can access the information you need by going to Course Materials here, clicking on that, and it should give you either an access code or automatic access. It looks a little bit different to you than it will to me, so I'm not 100%, but you will definitely, you do not need to buy a textbook. It's already bought. Okay, so let's go to the Start Here section. So, Syllabus Part 1. This is the most important part of the syllabus. We will go through it briefly in a minute. Then we have a link to the virtual office hours. You can see the times. You can also come see me in person. I have an office in the Northwest Campus. This actually, let's actually exit student preview mode because I see something that you no longer need. So, let's just delete this real quick. Down here you have the discussion rubric. That's basically what I just went over with you right now. Part 2 of the syllabus, not as important, but you should still go over it. A link to Sage Help and student tutorial videos. Okay, so let's go back up to syllabus Part 1. And you won't see this, you don't need to do this, because this is only for my in-person classes, so no presentation. Let's go to syllabus Part 1 and look through it a little bit. Okay, so syllabus part 1. I clicked on the wrong one, so actually let's open it in a different spot here. Person. Sorry, I apologize. We've got a lot of syllabi, I guess it is. Okay, so it's just the date that I had wrong. Okay, spring 2024. Okay, so let's go over the syllabus. So first of all, you have my contact info. Office phone number, cell phone number, email. Of course, don't really use the email. That's just there as a backup. Use the Blackboard course messages as we talked about. Here you can find information on my office hours. Here's information on the textbook, but you don't need to purchase the book because you already have access. Next, let's look at grades. So there will be a midterm, a final, quizzes, and chapter discussions. Okay, so basically you will have homework every week, you'll have a quiz every week, and a chapter discussion usually every other week. Okay, so make sure you keep up with that. Okay, so COVID-19 doesn't really apply. We're online. Late work, you will lose 10 points off an assignment per day that it's late. Okay, and that's off of the grade that you earn. So let's say there's a quiz that's 10 questions. You miss one, you get a 90. Well, it's going to be 10% off of the 90, right? So that's going to be an 81. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you shouldn't really turn in too much late work. We'll talk about why in just a minute here. Okay, so contact information we talked about. There will be lecture videos and supplemental videos in every folder to help you learn the material. Plagiarism. Do not plagiarize. That includes AI or chatbots. No cheating. If you have a disability, contact this number here, or you can go to this room. And they will let me know how to best help you, but you have to go through them first. It's just the procedure. Blackboard Ally. This is a program I use to make all of the materials in the class highly accessible. You can use different programs and so on. You can read more about that on your own. Military students, basically this is the same for any student that has a long-term absence. So if you're deployed, obviously there's nothing you can do to stop that. It's not your fault, and I will work with you, but I do need verification that you're actually being deployed. So make sure you follow this procedure here. We're not an in-person class, so campus carry. Time and effort. Be aware that there's a reason why if you're taking 12 credit hours, you're called a full-time student, because it is essentially is a full-time job. You're expected to work 40 hours on your schoolwork every week. A lot of students don't understand that, especially if you're just coming from high school. College, much of the learning in college takes place at home, not in person. Or not, during the class period. So, be aware that, I don't think you're going to have to spend this much time in the course, 6 hours. You could, and that goes for any of your courses. Really, I should have put 9 hours, but I didn't want to scare you, right? Because I think you'll probably end up spending a couple of hours a week. And of course increase those hours if you're not doing well in the course, and you will do better, I promise. Okay, I have the calendar here, academic calendar, and I'll double check. Yeah, this is old, the winter break. Okay, so that syllabus will look a little bit different. There's a couple things I have to change like the semester, but you get the idea. Now, if you have any questions, concerns, please contact me. It's not a bother. I get that a lot from students. I'm sorry to bother you. It's not a bother. It's my job. And I also, personally, I love answering questions. It's the reason I'm a teacher. So feel free to reach out to me. Okay, with that being said, I hope we have a great semester, and I will talk to you later. Bye.